Welcome back. I'm glad you're here. If you're listening again, it means something in the quiet last time stayed with you. And if this is your first time here, know this: you don't need to arrive with answers. You don't need the right words. You don't need to be in a certain place spiritually. This space is unhurried. There's nothing you need to prove here. In the last episode, we talked about listening, about how God often speaks softly and how we miss him when life stays loud. But here's something I've learned over time. Sometimes the hardest part isn't hearing God, it's making room to listen. Because when everything finally gets quiet, we start to notice how much noise we've been carrying inside. We live in a world that fills every empty space: background noise, constant conversation, endless scrolling. Silence can feel unsettling, not because it's empty, but because it leaves us alone with ourselves, our thoughts, our worries, the things we've been avoiding. So we rush to fill the space again. But quiet isn't meant to expose us, it's meant to steady us. Stillness isn't inactivity, it's attention. And sometimes the quiet isn't where answers arrive, it's where your heart finally slow down enough to receive them. One of the biggest misunderstandings about spiritual stillness is thinking we have to do it correctly, say the right words, feel the right emotions, hear something profound. But the quiet isn't a test. You're not failing if nothing happens. You're not doing it wrong if your mind wanders. You're not distant from God because silence feels awkward. Being present is enough. Sometimes showing up is the prayer. So, what does making space actually look like? It doesn't mean long hours of meditation, it doesn't mean perfect stillness. It might look like sitting for a few minutes without reaching for your phone, turning off the background noise, letting your thoughts pass without chasing them, not trying to fix anything, not trying to understand everything, just being willing to stay, because God doesn't compete with your attention. He waits for it. If you're able to pause together for a moment, you don't need to close your eyes unless you want to just take a slow breath in and out. Let your shoulders drop, let your jaw soften. You don't need to speak. You don't need to ask for anything. Just be here. Even now, this stillness is doing more than you realize. The quiet won't always bring clarity right away. Sometimes it brings rest instead. And that matters because a rested soul hears differently than a rushed one. You don't need to chase God. You don't need to strain to hear him. Make space, return often. Trust that he knows where to find you. God, thank you for meeting us in this quiet space. Teach us how to slow down without fear. Help us trust that you are near even when everything feels still. Amen. Thank you for spending this time here. Come back when you're ready. This room will be waiting.